Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So some promising news coming out of the middleweight division. According to The Athletic, Jermall Charlo versus Sergiy Derevyanchenko is reportedly now being finalised for September or October as a defence of Charlo's WBC middleweight title. Listen man, I don't want to get too excited, but this is a tremendous fight on paper. Obviously, we need to wait until an official announcement, but just the prospect of this fight really does excite me. I've been calling for this fight for quite some time. I think it's the fight that makes sense for both parties. You know, Jermall Charlo, his options at the PBC aren't exactly plentiful in the middleweight division, and Derevyanchenko, he's with Lou DiBella, he's worked with PBC in the past. He's highly rated in the WBC. Charlo versus Derevyanchenko just makes a whole load of sense to me. And stylistically, I think it's a really intriguing matchup. Essentially, in short, it's like the boxer-puncher versus the inside fighter. You know, two contrasting styles. Both guys have clear philosophies on how they fight. And it would be interesting to see what style comes out on top. Whether it's the boxer-puncher in Jermall Charlo or the inside fighter in Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Just a really interesting matchup. And, you know, I've been very critical of Jermall Charlo for a long time now. Essentially, my reasoning being, Jermall Charlo hasn't given me a fight I've been excited about for quite some time. The last one being the Julian Williams fight, that was December 2016. So basically, for me, he's done nothing in recent years to get me excited or get me interested. I understood the Highland fight, his first fight at middleweight, I understood that. But apart from that, man, it's been dire, to be honest. Jermall Charlo really hasn't done anything in recent years, and I've been waiting for him to fight a genuine top 10 middleweight. This would be that occasion if he fights Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Another reason why I like this fight, especially for Jermall Charlo, is basically how he won the WBC title. He was essentially elevated as WBC champion without fighting for a title because of his whole franchise title BS from the WBC. Now, that wasn't Jermall Charlo's fault, it has to be said, but reality is, a lot of boxing fans almost see him as a paper champion, whether it's his fault or not. That's how a lot of fans see Jermall Charlo. To me, a Sergiy Derevyanchenko fight, if he were to win that fight, that really legitimizes Jermall Charlo's title, in my opinion. If he were to beat Sergiy Derevyanchenko, then just makes that title a little bit more respectable in my opinion. That's why I like this fight for Jermall Charlo. And, you know, just as a boxing fan, stylistically it's a really interesting fight. I really wonder how this one plays out. I'll tell you this much. I don't think Jermall Charlo can fight with Derevyanchenko on the inside. I don't think he's got the inside fighting ability to do so. So essentially, it's what Jermall Charlo can do on the outside. Can he outbox Derevyanchenko for 12 rounds behind a jab and move? Well, that's not really his style, to be honest. Like I said, Jermall Charlo's a boxer-puncher. He's actually quite flat-footed, you know. He likes to step behind that jab and he'll try and throw that long right hand and catch you and knock you out. That's really his style. He's a puncher and he fights like a puncher. So, from my perspective, I think for Jermall Charlo to win this fight, excluding any BS decisions, maybe he needs to knock out Derevyanchenko to win this fight. Because like I said, I certainly can't see him winning an inside battle, and I'm not sure whether he's dynamic enough and fleet-footed enough to box Derevyanchenko for 12 rounds and win a decision. I'm not sure whether he's that sort of fighter, to be honest. I've not really seen it so far. Maybe he's got that in his locker, but I've not seen it. And knocking out Sergiy Derevyanchenko isn't an easy task, you know. Derevyanchenko's been hit with hard punches in the past. Danny Jacobs, he can really crack. He went the distance, and it was a really close fight. Gennady Golovkin, obviously a guy who can really punch. He took Golovkin's best shots and kept coming forwards, you know. Derevyanchenko has a great chin, so knocking this guy out, easier said than done. On paper, this is an extremely hard fight for Jermall Charlo, and in my opinion, stylistically, the hardest fight of Jermall Charlo's career. So if this fight were to happen, I would give Jermall Charlo credit. I'm not one of these people who slate a fighter and criticise a fighter, and when they do something good, I won't praise it. If you do something good, you get praise. If Jermall Charlo takes this fight, I'm happy, I'm on board, fair play to the lad. That's how I see it, because ultimately it's a great fight. A lot of people online are excited for this fight, and rightly so. This fight just intrigues me so much. I'll be really interested to see the bookies odds on this fight if it gets made. I'll be really interested to see who's the favourite, because online I see a lot of people siding with Sergiy Derevyanchenko. So we'll see whether that affects the odds if this fight gets made. But yeah, some positive news. Well, it's not been made yet. I'm trying to be optimistic here, you know. I'm trying to will it into existence. I've been pessimistic recently, so let's try and be positive. Let's try and will this into existence, and maybe the boxing gods will treat us to this fight, because it is a great fight. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think this fight will even happen? And if it does, who are you picking? Peace.